start with the cake body, and we're going to make a magic ring, chain 1, and then we're going to put 6 single crochets into the magic loop. And normally people will go into the first stitch and then start their row 2, and they would start with a chain 1. But I found that since this box is going to kind of be seen from like all angles, I want it to be smooth, so I'm going to be doing it in a spiral way. And the way you keep track of the spirals is with a stitch marker. So I'm going to go into the first stitch, and this stitch is going to have an increase. So I'm going to put in 1 single crochet and a 2nd single crochet. So I just did 2 single crochets for row 2. I'm going to put my stitch marker into the first stitch that I did for row 2. And for the rest of row 2, you're going to be doing increases in every stitch. So I just did 2 in the first stitch. I'm going to do 2 more in the second stitch. And at the end of this row, you'll have a total of 10 stitches. Alright, so I finished row 2. I have a total of 12 stitches. And now I'm going to start row 3. So I'm going to take my stitch marker out, go into the first stitch again with an increase. And then in the first stitch, this was the second one, this was the first one, you're going to put your stitch marker in there again. Now you're going to do an increase in every other stitch. So I just did an increase. That means I'm just going to do 1 single crochet in the next stitch. And then in this stitch, I'm going to put 2 single crochets. So you're going to do an increase in every other stitch. And at the end, you should have a total of 18 stitches. Row 3 is row 3 is done. Now for row 4, you're going to do an increase in the first stitch. I'm going to put my stitch marker back. And now you're going to do an increase every 2 stitches. So I did an increase, and then I'll do 2 single crochets in between. I'm just going to finish this row. I'll have a total of 24 stitches. Alright, now we're going to start row 5. Hopefully you can kind of see the pattern here so far. We're going to start again with the increase. And this time we're going to do 3 single crochets. And I'm going to kind of stop here and kind of explain how you're going to go about this by yourself, because everyone's boxes is going to be like a different size, or your stitches are going to be different sizes. But basically the way you do this is with every row that you continue adding on, you're going to add another one of the single crochets in between the increases. So for example, in row 5, we do every 3 single crochets. In row 6, we'll do it every 4. In row 7, we'll do it every 5. So the way I remember it is it's the row number minus 2. So in row 7, you would put 5 single crochets. In row 8, you would put 6 single crochets. And for me, I went on until I hit row 8, and that's what worked for me. When I get to a size that fits my box, I'll show you. If you make it like a row too big, it won't fit properly. So you would rather it to be kind of smaller and more snug, but I'll show you what mine looks like when I'm done. Okay, so I finished the top. I did 9 rows, and it doesn't really matter how many rows you do, as long as it just like barely covers the top of what box you want to do. And the reason is because like this last row has increases. So when you start making the sides, it's going to be a little bit bigger. And when I first made it, I accidentally made it too big because I wanted it to be like a little bit over. So don't do that. Now, the easy part, you're just going to be doing no increases, just single crochets. So just all the way around of my first stitch. And you're just going to continue all the way around like that with these single crochets. And you're going to get to a point where you want to try it on as you go. And just get to a point where it'll cover the lip. And you're going to make 2 of these. So one for the top and one for the bottom. Obviously the bottom one is going to be a lot longer. And yeah. Alright, so I finished the top, and I just kind of wanted to show you how I end it. Since we're doing like a spiral thing, we can't really end it neatly without doing some little slip stitch. So I just did a slip stitch there. I'm just going to do one more. I'm going to end it like that. And now you can see it's not like it's not like a single crochet and then it like ends on a little cliff. Now it's going to be like that. And it fits perfectly on my box. I'll go ahead and show you real quick. Wow. So there it is. As you can see, like, it's pretty close together. I don't want to overdo it. And now we'll work on some of the decorations. For the frosting, I'm using pink. And you're going to start with a magic ring and make a chain of 3. So 1, 2, 3. And into this loop, we're gonna do 4 half double crochets, but we're gonna do them kind of uniquely. So we're gonna start the half double crochet, and you're only gonna pull through these first 2 loops. So now I have the chain 3 in this. I have 2 things. I have 2 loops. Now let's do number 3. Same thing. We're just gonna pull through the first 2 loops only. Now we have 3 loops. Our next half double crochet and our last half double crochet. And I see you have 5 things. You have the chain 3 and you have 4 half double crochets, and you have 5 loops on your hook. You're going to pull through all 5 loops, and then you're going to chain 3. So 1, 2, 3. And we're just going to repeat this. So let me just tighten the magic loop. And as you can see, it'll kind of puff out like that. And that's what we want. So we're going to do the half double crochets in this little loop right here. So 4 total. So here's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Perfect. Now you're going to pull through all of them and then chain 3. And my yarn is pretty thick. If you have like thinner yarn, you want it to be puffier, you could do 5 half double crochets. It kind of depends on what you want. If you want them to be taller, you could use double crochets instead of half double crochets. But yeah, I'll show you one more time. We're going to do 4 half double crochets in here. That's 1. There's 2. And 3. And 4. And then we'll pull through all 5. Perfect. And you're just going to continue this until you get it long enough so that you can kind of wrap it all around the bottom and top edge. So you're going to make 2 of these, okay? Alright, now we're going to make the little pad that the strawberry sits on. So I'm going to take my green yarn and I'm going to make a magic ring. I'm going to chain 2. And then I'm going to put 15 double crochets in here. Now I'm going to go into that first double crochet, the slip stitch. I'm just going to chain 1. And then I'm going to put a single crochet in the first stitch. I'm going to chain 1. And then I'm going to put 2 double crochets in this second stitch. I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to put a single crochet into the next stitch, like that. And you're just going to continue that all the way around. Single crochet in the next stitch, chain 1, 2 double crochets in the next stitch, chain 1, and then a single crochet in the next stitch. All right, let's keep going. Single crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochets, chain 1, single crochet, and a single crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochets, chain 1, single crochet, single crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochets, chain 1, and a single crochet. And I'm just going to end it with a little slip stitch randomly. Perfect. Then we have this little flower, and our strawberry is just going to sit right on top like that. Alright, so now we're going to do the berry. You're going to start with a magic ring, chain 1, and do 5 single crochets. Alright, then you're going to pull to tighten. Now you're going to go into that first stitch with an increase. And go ahead and put your stitch marker into the first stitch of that increase. Now you're just going to do increases all around. And we have 10 single crochets. For the next row, we're going to be doing an increase and then 4 single crochets, sorry. So let's go ahead, we're going to do our increase in that first stitch. There's my increase. Then I'll do 4 single crochets. Then another increase. And then 4 more single crochets. Good. And then we'll start again on the next row. We're going to start with an increase again. And this time we're going to do an increase for every an increase and then 5 single crochets. So that was my increase. Now I'll do 5 single crochets. Then I'll do an increase and 5 single crochets. Perfect. I'm going to do the last row of increases. We're going to do an increase, and then we're going to do 6 single crochets. So that was my increase. Now we'll do 6 single crochets. Now I'll do my increase, and then 6 more single crochets. Now we're going to do 2 rows of just normal single crochets. So I'll show you really quick. Just gonna go around with ordinary single crochets, nothing tricky. So just like that with these normal single crochets. So I'll go ahead and finish those 2 rows, and then we're gonna start our decreases. All right, so I finished the 2 rows of just single crochets. Now we'll start our decreases. So for the decrease, you're gonna take the first loop and the second loop of these, or the front loops of these 2 stitches. Just grab those, and you're gonna pull through those 2 stitches. You're gonna pull through both. That's a decrease. So I'll mark that as our first stitch, and then we're gonna do 2 single crochets. And then we're going to do another decrease, taking the front loops of those 2 stitches, pulling through, 2 more single crochets, and then another decrease, and then 2 more double crochets, another decrease, and then 2 more double crochets. Sorry, not double crochets, single crochets. There we go. So that's our first row of decreases. Now what you're going to do, if you want to put seeds on at this time, you can grab some white yarn and a yarn needle and start sewing those seeds on, and you start to stuff it. And for our last row, show you real quick, we'll be doing all decreases. There's our first decrease. I'll mark it there. We're just going to do decreases all the way around. So that's the berry. You can just end it off, tie it there, and then I'm either going to sew it or glue it on to this over here. Either way, whatever you want. And again, make sure you stuff it. I just didn't stuff it because I already made one and I don't want another one, so I just chose not to stuff it. But make sure you stuff it, and after that we're just going to put the cake all together. Alright, so now we're going to get to the fun part, which is... Right now we get to the fun part, which is to assemble everything together. You basically just do this however you want. There's one thing that I want to do. I think I'm just going to sew like where the hinge is in the back, just so I can kind of see where the front is. And then I'm probably going to glue this right there. Maybe I might sew the berry on top, just because it seems like it'll be more stable. And then for me, I'm going to put 1 layer of frosting right up here, probably. And then the other one on the lower level, like that. And there's like a lot of space here. I'm not exactly sure what I'll do here yet. I might put some little bows or something. I'll see. But this is what I have so far. Right, so I finished the cake. The way I did it, I glued on this part and the strawberry. I sewed the red part onto the leaf. And then I just glued only around the edges here. So I didn't glue like this onto the bottom because it seems pretty sturdy. And then for these little decorations, they're not that tricky, so I'll just explain them. I just made 1 really long chain of green. And then I know I wanted 6 little divots here, so I marked that off. Some hot glue. And for these little red things, this is just a magic ring with 2 single crochets in there, and then I just glued it right on. Sorry I didn't record that part, but I feel like it's pretty simple compared to everything else we've done, so I'm sure you'll be able to do it. And yeah, so that's the cake. Hopefully you found this tutorial helpful. If you have any questions, just let me know. And thank you for watching.